Hey Billy, try to
Let me tag him.
to get on. You probably can Billy, what's good, man?
Because we didn't. You're muffled a little bit, by the way.
Get these fucking headphones again, man.
Yo, Billy. See if you can hit that green button at the bottom.
That says request or something of that nature.
Yeah, it'll say request. But basically, what we're trying to do here is get Billy is a very knowledgeable
Yeah,
football
I
fan.
see him. I see him. He should be coming on right now.
There he
Yo,
is. What's up? Let's
Hey,
what's
let's
up?
get a volume check here. Quan, try to talk.
can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
Is it
Guys in the
static?
comments, is it let us know how it sounds.
Because we all sound good to each other. I can hear Billy, but I can't see him. I
I
knew
can
she
see
was
Billy.
good with you. You can
Uh,
see him?
Yeah, Quan, you're definitely muffled.
All right, hold on. Let me
I can hear him clearly.
you can hear me
Yeah, but
clearly?
Yeah, Bobby, you kind of cut in a little bit,
I'm cutting in.
just a little bit.
All right, let's
Sound
see.
better now than you did a minute ago.
Okay,
Exactly.
word.
You said, huh?
All right, yeah. Well, let's do this thing. Yo, Billy, thank you so much for coming on, especially last minute, because we had somebody set up, but obviously things fall through. But we wanted to get your input on what we're getting here as Giant fans, because we're so wrapped up in Giants football throughout the season. We don't. I'm not very familiar with Dable, Joe Shane, and I think has it broke yet that we've got the quarterback coach?
Yes, we did.
Not yet. I don't think you have. I honestly don't think he's going to come. Josh Allen is advocating for him really hard to keep him as the offensive coordinator, just for continuity of the system. And he's been
Mm,
working with Josh since
makes a
he's
lot of
been
sense.
there.
It was good. Hey, Will, my apologies, bro. I can't see you. I'm glad Bobby can. So if I cut you off, my apologies. I really can't see that you like started talking or anything. But
Oh, hey, not a problem, bud.
from what I
Um,
understand, you're a Bills fan, right?
Damn straight, born and raised, kid.
Oh yeah, you live upstate.
I used to live south of Buffalo, and I used to live just not that far from Bobby for about 15 years, and I decided to get away from the snow and move down to Nashville.
we coached football
Oh,
together.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay.
we coach Pee Wee.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what's
So
up. That's a good look.
um, so yeah, so let's start with Joe Shane. As a Bills fan, how did you feel? How did you feel about what he did for your football team?
Well, it's weird because he was the assistant GM,
Yeah.
so you don't hear a lot about him. You know what I mean? I watched a lot of video when they do a thing. I would assume Giants probably do the same thing, but they show a lot of him with
No, we don't watch
Brandon
no
Beane.
video around here.
Yeah, I bet, right? Yeah,
Only
they
Joe
show.
Judge watch video.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know what kind of video he's watching. Jesus
He
Christ.
watching fucking
Yeah,
he
probably
watching
the art of the QB sneak. I think maybe I don't
nah,
know.
he's watching
Oh.
videos on VHS. That's what he's watching them on.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what Machine though, I mean, he was behind the scenes a lot too, helping with the draft boards and stuff, trying to get the players that we need for Buffalo. I think I think he might have been with also being in Carolina as well, in some kind of factor there. But I
Yeah, I
think
believe he
he's
was
gonna,
really out there for a little while.
yeah. So I think he's gonna bring over the same kind of atmosphere that's in Buffalo, which is try to bring in a winning culture, try to bring in a culture that where it's family first and your team.
Hey,
And
well, you're
and
not allowed to say the word culture in this group, man. We can't
So
hear that
yeah,
word no more.
so the
well, I
coach,
understand that. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh
the
man,
Giants have just been saying a lot of culture this, culture that, and
yeah,
they're
my
seeing
God,
progression, and
boy.
we haven't seen it. We got rid of a lot of dogs, a lot of good players that, if you can see, that are making that made a lot of plays throughout this playoffs, and we got rid of a
Mm-hmm.
lot of guys that we shouldn't have got rid of, and it just seems like the team was okay with losing. So the last podcast we had, we talked about culture and the fact that
Yeah, we can't say
We
that
want
enough.
to hear the only time we want to hear culture is winning culture, just like you said.
Yeah, like
You
you
know what I
said.
mean? So,
Well, I understand that from a fan because culture gets that word gets used like very loosely with every organization. It's not just the
Hmm.
Giants, the Bills. It could be any organization, and every ownership wants to bring in or GM wants to bring in something of a winning culture. Everyone wants to bring a winning culture. And I just think what Sheen's going to bring in by bringing in Dable and everything is going to be that winning culture. I can't foresee the future, but I know they want to bring in. I think they just want to build something to where, obviously the fan base is going to love because they definitely want to. They want to have what they say football DNA. They want that in their players in their DNA. They don't want anyone that wants to be for themselves. They want everyone to be there together, just as a big family and to work together through that way and build up their whatever culture they want to bring to the Giants up. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
yeah.
And
Now, yeah, go ahead, Quan.
let me ask you a question, man. So I was telling Bobby, you guys' defense and offense was basically ranked in the top 10 this year, right?
Yeah, yeah. Defense is number one overall, and the offense they was number two in scoring, and I think it was round fifth or sixth overall.
Okay, so this was what I was telling a lot of people in the group, and I was explaining to Bobby as well. Although he wasn't quote unquote the GM, I'm pretty sure he had a big hand in building, the direction you guys have been going over the last 3 or 4 years, because you've been trending upward. The reason why I was excited about the hire is because of the balance. I felt like he's a guy who has an eye for defense and offense. If you understand what I'm saying, I'm excited because I feel like we finally got a GM that just doesn't focus on one side of the ball and try to make one side of the ball overpowering to cover up the other side of the ball's deficiencies. So I'm happy to have him because I finally feel like we have a GM that can draft on both sides of the ball. Is that something you think you guys have done over there pretty well?
Oh, damn straight we have. I mean, seriously, the first draft pick ever under the Bean and McDermott leadership was Trey White, and that was when they traded away their 10th overall pick to KC, who got Mahomes, and
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo traded back and I'm getting Tre'Davious White. All their draft picks really have been pretty solid. I mean, besides Cody Ford's that lineman I was telling you about the other day, Bobby, I couldn't think of top of my head. That's the only one I've seen in the top three or four picks they've had since they've been together that I haven't quite liked or hasn't panned out. Look what they did. They got Josh Allen, Tremaine Edmonds in the first round the same year in 2018, and Edmonds is our star middle linebacker. They draft well. They do their due diligence when they go out. They know the team's needs, just like the fans will. You guys are going to say, "Oh crap, we need a quarterback. We need tight end and offensive lineman." I mean, these guys really do their due diligence in the draft and what they really, really need. Like everyone thinks, like for example, like this past season, everyone wanted Buffalo. We got to get a running back. Got to get a running back. Did not even look at a single running back. We stayed with what we had and just got, a couple. You got our defensive ends that we needed to rush, and we did pick up like Spencer Brown. We picked up out of the what was it, the fifth round, maybe something like that. And he's just been a freaking animal on the offensive line. But but we ended up being balanced. Our running game was fine. We weren't hurting at all, and our offense still was, fifth overall. And we still made it into the division round of the playoffs this year. So, I mean, I think Sheen's going to have a good eye of where you guys need to focus on to start building up your team for the future.
Shit, Stevie Wonder can see what we need to focus on.
Now, let me ask you I
love
remember
it.
you talking about strength of schedule and how you said that you struggle to kind of evaluate the defensive, like the number one kind of maybe seemed a little blurred because of the fact that you guys played the Zach Wilsons, the Mac Jones twice a year. And do you think that had anything to play in it, or do you think that that defense is the real deal?
You know what? It's hard to say. So let's put it this way: when McDermott, took over, I mean, we had a top five defense the first couple of years. Even look at the first year that Buffalo went to the playoffs. That was
Yeah,
before.
they've been ranked pretty high the last few years, Bobby.
Yeah.
It's
So
not a 1 year. It hasn't been a 1 year thing. That's another thing. We always talk consistency.
Yeah.
You don't want to be one this year, 17th next year, 12th this year, 4th this year. They've been pretty consistent in the top 10 over the last few years, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah. Last year it was a rough patch last year with the defense. It was just so surprisingly, as a Bills fan, we can never find that coherency with the offense and defense. It's like it's the defense kicking ass and the offense just sucks. And then the one year the offense is great, the defense just sucks. And
Yeah.
we kind of had that last year where the defense was just above the average or just below average, and it came better at the end of the season. But this year, everything kind of stuck together really good, a lot better than it was last year. But our offense, maybe took a step back. Because obviously, I feel like, the defense gets paid too. So defense coordinators kind of figured out Josh Allen a little bit, how people kind of figured out Patrick Mahomes this year, play that too high safety, that shell. But to beyond the go back to your point, Bob, is that it's true. I mean, the defense is good. It's just that you got to think they were historically good on passing defense. They were like number one in almost every category, which is unheard of. But I also say that's skewed a little bit because, like I said, they played like the last after Trey White went down. They only played Mahomes and Brady. They're the only elite quarterbacks they played, since Thanksgiving. Even before that, who else did they really play? You're not going to put like say the Zach Wilsons or like Cam Newton. You know what I mean? Look at or Tua Tagovailoa. I mean, these aren't top 5, top 10 quarterbacks, and so Buffalo had their way.
We would have lost to.
Yeah.
Say
So Buffalo had a way with that defense with the younger QBs because it's always you can manipulate a rookie QB or a QB that's been in the league a couple of years. But that's the only thing I would put down on the defense. It's just the passing defense. It's just like they're ranked number one, but honestly, I don't know if they really are just because who they played. When they play Tom Brady, boom, over 300 yards. Patrick Mahomes, 378 in the divisional round.
At the same time, though, that's Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. It's not like anybody else is going to do any different.
Yeah, that is true too. That is true too. I that is true. But I mean, they've.
My thing is, like, what I can say about y'all team defense is you guys didn't let average players look like Hall of Famers. We did that on the week in, week out basics. Didn't matter who we were playing. I went to the game down in Miami, bro. Tua, whatever his goofy ass name is, he looked like Steve. I swear he looked like Steve Young. I mean, he did. You literally had Giants players after the game say, they didn't do anything that we didn't see on tape. Y'all saw it on tape, and y'all still couldn't stop it. And he's an absolute bum. So the mark of a good defense is to, at the end of the day, Rodgers, Brady, Mahomes, Breeze, guys like that, they're going to get you, bro. It is what it is, and the rules are set up for them to get you. But when you play a team that you should stomp on them. You understand what I'm saying? We couldn't even do that, bro.
I lost to the Jaguars 9-6. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Now, I want to ask you about Dable and this whole narrative of like quarterback whisper and like a lot of these guys, there's stories out there if he could potentially turn DJ into Josh Allen, which I don't subscribe to. But how much of a factor do you think that he's going to have if Daniel Jones is the week 1 starter? Of how much better do you think he can make that kid?
That's a tough question.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say personally that Dable is a quarterback whisperer. He got along great with Josh. Josh is a unicorn. We all know this. So it's just like he's just a coachable kid, and he has all this talent, And Daboll, and plus Josh Allen also works with with Jordan Palmer in the offseason a lot, going through his mechanics with that as well. So it's not just Daboll, but he knows how to adjust to whatever talent the quarterback possesses. You know what I mean? So whatever Daniel Jones is really good at. I know Daniel Jones can scramble a little bit. He can help out with different kind of run, play pass concepts with him to get him rolled out a little bit out of the pocket. He could probably do some good for him, but to bring him to a Josh Allen level I doubt it, dude.
Yeah.
I say the same thing, Bobby. Only due to the fact that you just don't see it. You understand? Like with Josh Allen, you saw it.
Yeah.
You understand? You saw it. You saw it coming. Like, okay, where you see him at right now, you can honestly look back and say, I saw this coming. You don't see it with Danny, bro. He can't stay healthy. He can't hit a wide open receiver sometimes. He can't read a defense. It's just it's so much that he can't do that it's hard to say he's going to be that guy.
A
You
lot of
understand?
a lot of it is, I mean, like DJ can't extend plays. Like we talk about it week in and week out. He stares down his receivers. And I really, I hope that this guy can come in here and fix that, because no one's been able to do that yet. It seemed like
Nope.
DJ's rookie year, it's either NFL teams got film on him, or he regressed after his rookie year, and it's just.
What I
You
tell
do
you
see
before,
that
Bobby,
sometimes, but
you can't hide in sports. Usually, a rookie will come out when nobody has some film on him. When he's not your week 1 starter. He comes in week 3, week 4. Nobody has film on him. He lights it up. When defenses start to realize what you can't do, that's what they keep running at you until you show them you can do that. The great ones, the good quarterbacks, you can't do that to, because they figure it out. He can't figure it out, bro. There's too many excuses. It's the wide receivers are hurt. The line can't block. The running back is hurt. He's hurt. The coach is bad. The GM it's every fucking excuse but the fact that he just can't get the job done.
yeah.
I mean,
Now,
do you guys have any kind of veterans back there? Any kind of that like a veteran quarterback? Any on your roster at all? I mean, I think it's all about coaching too.
Bobby is our backup quarterback.
that's me.
Yeah,
No,
there you go.
listen, but we had Mike Glennon, and then we got Jake from you guys.
Yeah, but
And
that's not veteran. That's
no,
not someone's going to sit down and help him out.
exactly. So what we want. I mean, I speak for myself. I think Quan kind of feels the same way, that the smartest thing to do is get a veteran to light a fire under DJ's ass and put competition, so that this kid can realizes, oh, I need to
What up,
fight
Alberto?
for this job, and a guy that can maybe get him better. I don't, whether it's like a Marcus Mariota type guy, someone that's been in the league, that understands football, that that can be on the sidelines with a clipboard and help this kid, and this kid, he obviously needs guidance. Like, he shows flashes of brilliance. Like, we've seen him, he can throw the ball deep. He's got no touch on the ball. He stares down his ex receiver. He can't extend plays. The kid's fast like a freaking gazelle, but he's goofy as hell. And there's just you see flashes of it, but then you see, like, you almost feel like he may have already hit his ceiling. So I just hope
flashes
that
seem more like a mistake sometimes, that he's doing well. And it's crazy that you bring up a veteran, because everybody's been saying that his best year was under Pat Shermer. We could actually make an argument, when you bring up veteran quarterbacks, his best year was maybe because Eli was the person that he can go to for help.
That's a great point.
That is a good
Have been the biggest reason why he's had such a successful rookie season, because since then, and the Giants did the same thing with Eli. Let's be real. And I'm not saying that Eli was as bad as Danny Jones. Trust me, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, they refuse to bring in any quarterback that could possibly cause any drama, as far as, if this quarterback isn't playing well, we got this guy who the fans are going to want to get in the game and take this guy's spot. They're never going to sign a backup that will take Danny Jones' spot. They won't do it.
That's with any team. Any team's like that. I mean, that has that veteran in there. You know what I mean? It's going to happen. But the fans got to understand, this is a work in progress. Now, like, we'll go to what Bobby said here about Daniel Jones, about he can be quick as a gazelle. He has that arm strength. It's just still all about coaching, right? So maybe you just don't have the right coaching in there that can help him out. You do need that veteran back there to have that current knowledge of the defensive schemes and the coverages and the mixed concepts that's going to be thrown his way. Josh Allen was the same way. He would stare down a receiver. Josh Allen was quick to run. Great coaching got him in there. Yes, Josh Allen's word is God-worldly talent. But Daniel Jones could be, I'm not saying he's going to be like Josh Allen, but if he has the right coaching, something can happen. He just had to have the right people for him there to help him. And it all starts, too, is got to have the right protection. You got to have a good offensive line.
Yes.
You can't stare down a receiver if someone's up your ass in 1.3 seconds. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
That's how you got to go. I mean, that's what Dable can help out with. That's what Sheen can help out with. You got to get the right, because that's what they did with Allen. they had to get line help. Then they got that line help. And then they had a decent running game to help him. And then what happened the following year? They got Beasley and John Brown, and that helped his passing game a little bit. Went from a 50% passer to a freaking 58% completion passer. And then the following year, boom, Stephon Diggs, he went from 58 to 69.7. I mean, it's just how you bring him along and who you bring in around him.
Yo,
Well,
good stuff, Billy.
Hopefully we got the right guy, because what I will say is, looking at it, like I said, over the last few years, you guys have been trending upward. You understand? And that's all we've been asking for. It's like our front office only likes to bring in, but outside of this year, only likes to bring in guys that make them comfortable, because we were in a rush to get Dave Gettleman, who literally just tore Carolina apart. They were trending when we hired him. Carolina was trending downward like this, but yet we still rushed out there to get him because he made the owners comfortable. So as of right now, it's a good feeling to feel like we got somebody that can trend us upward over the next few years. And
Now,
again, we're not looking to win the Super Bowl next year. We're not looking to win the Super Bowl the following year. All we want at this point as Giants fans, because it's been so long, we just want to be competitive, bro.
Oh, I feel you, bro.
We just like to be competitive.
Look at the Bills. We've been dealing with mediocrity for a long time.
A very long time.
We had Ralph Wilson, the owner, God rest his soul. He wouldn't spend the money on people. You know what I mean? So we get the Pagulas, they come in, they want to make the big hire with Rex Ryan. We all know that didn't go well. So they bring in Sean McDermott, who brought in, hate to say the C word, but he brought in the culture and he brought in the right guys. And you got to think, his first year was unbelievable. They got rid of Ronald Darby, and he was up for defensive rookie of the year when Buffalo drafted. They got rid of him right after one season. Got rid of Sammy Watkins, and we still made the playoffs because he brought in the winning culture. Yeah, he got rid of Sammy Watkins. The same he got rid of people and brought in Calvin Benjamin be the starting receiver for Josh Allen. Not for Josh Allen, that was for Tyrod Taylor at the time. So, but that first year broke the drought, this 18-year drought. And then they continued to build on it. You know, we thought it was a rebuilding year, but we continued to build up from there. And that's what Bean's done. And, you know, Sheen has obviously had to help him because he was his assistant. So I'm hoping good things for you guys. And with Daboll, you guys got a guy who's a known winner. He has 5 Super Bowl rings in his pocket. He was with the Patriots. He had it as a defense assistant. Then he was a tight ends coach and a wide receivers coach, and then he has a ring for college football with Nick Saban for Alabama when he was offensive coordinator. And that was the year, if I'm not mistaken, that when they got rid of they benched I think whoever their quarterback was at the time, and they put in Tua to take over during after halftime of that Alabama game. So, and then Daboll also won 2020 Assistant of the Year. So he knows about winning. He knows how to have a team win if he has the right people on the roster.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you horror stories, because he was also the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs back in the day, the Jets. It was the Cleveland Browns and the Dolphins, not the Jets. Dolphins had Henny and Moore as their quarterback. Matt Castle was the quarterback. Yeah. And Matt Castle was the quarterback for the Chiefs.
Castle wasn't bad when he was with the Chiefs, though.
Yeah, but they still took last in their division. You know what I mean? He was there for only one season and he got fired. Daboll's was with Miami for one season and he got fired. And then he was the coordinator for Cleveland for 2 years. And here's some names. He was coaching freaking Brady Quinn and Colt McCoy.
Brady Quinn was a bum.
Brady Quinn was.
Yeah. And what was he? Was he at Notre Dame, right? Came out of Notre Dame?
Yeah,
he was crazy. He was one of the few quarterbacks I brought into the hype, because when he came out of Notre Dame, I just knew he was going to be good, bro. Because he had this pro look about him, like wasn't a gunslinger, but he had this feel that he was still a field general. You understand? Like, he can move the ball. I didn't need to sling it like Brett Favre, but I can make the right decisions. I can move the ball. He was an
I bought into that
bum.
I bought into the hype of Chad Pennington. Remember Chad Pennington?
Oh, Chad Pennington.
I bought in.
A while.
Yeah. Marshall, right? Was it Marshall?
Yeah, he came from Marshall. Truth be told, though, he wasn't that bad, bro. He
had a couple good
shoulder
years.
injury, he started doing this. I mean, the Jets believed in him enough that they were winning when he was playing.
He was.
Hurt.
Yeah. Then he played for Miami too, didn't he?
He wasn't bad in Miami either, but at that point he had 2 shoulder surgeries. He just wasn't the same.
Yeah, it's true.
What I want to say right now for everybody, we got 40-something people in the chat. I want if you guys want to throw in questions too, feel free, and we can pick them out. Hopefully we can get to some for
Can you
Billy.
see the comments at the bottom of the screen, Bobby?
I can.
I seen a few.
Dean seems very upset. Dean, don't take anything to heart, bro. Come on, man. You know, we're all Giants fans.
We up here every week. Nobody take anything to heart.
Come on, guys. It's just it's football. That's how the cookie crumbles on seasons, man. But hey, you got rid of Joe Judge. That's a good thing. You got rid of him. As soon as the ownership saw not Brett Favre, but Aaron Rodgers making fun of Joe Judge and the Pat McAfee show, they're okay. Get this guy in the office. Give him the boot.
That might have been big.
Question, Will.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. So I know how we all in the Giants fan base saw Joe Judge. There were some people during the season that still believed in him early in the year, but as the year went on, you could see that starting to change, and people were starting to turn on him. Me and Bobby were people. I want to say by the end of last year, we wasn't feeling him. Not this year. I'm talking about the year before, where you could start to see that it was just more of a tough guy act. You're a fan of another team. Tell us how he comes across to other people.
I'm trying to remember a lot of the stuff that he said for his first year, but I remember a lot. Yeah, he said during this past season, and he comes out like a schmuck, like he has no idea what he's talking about. I mean, why in God's green earth would you say on national TV in an interview, "Oh, I got old players calling me that want to come back to play for me"? That's a bunch of bullshit, to be honest with you.
Bunch of bullshit. So now we know you're a liar.
Exactly. I can smell your crap, and I'm in Tennessee, for Christ's sake. Get the hell out of here. But the thing is, though, it's just that he lost the locker room. Guy has no experience. They just made the wrong choice to coach the Giants. That is a historic football club you got there. It's the New York Football Giants. It's historic. It's a big media presence. And you bring in pretty much a rookie head coach. I mean, the spotlight's too big for him. It really was.
He was a special teams
like a
coach.
Person that likes to talk his way out of stuff.
Oh, yeah. He's probably pointing fingers and blaming other people.
Andre says, what you think of Ken Dorsey reports Giants to try to get him as offensive coordinator? You said something at the beginning, but a lot of people weren't in the live. So how do you feel about that?
My opinion is it's going to be rough to get Dorsey over, because I'm really thinking he's going to be hearing offers from the Bills. Josh Allen wants him, because they're actually going to give Josh Allen his input. They want Josh Allen's input of who the next offensive coordinator is going to be for the Bills, and he wants Dorsey because Dorsey's been with them, since 2018, and Dorsey is a good offensive-minded guy, and he can, continue the Brian Daboll playbook with his own twist in it, and that's what Josh is comfortable with. And as a fan, I don't want him to leave. I want Josh to be comfortable. I want to keep this fucking gravy train rolling with Josh Allen. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't want a new guy in there where we got to learn a new system and everything else, and I don't want a slow start to the next season. I honestly don't, because I know for crap sure if Kansas City wins the Super Bowl this year, first game of the season will be Buffalo at KC. And I'm not going to be ready for that.
Now, has Josh Allen gone public saying that he endorses?
Yeah, he has.
Okay,
he hasn't said I want. He doesn't say I want Dorsey as my offensive coordinator, but he says we already have a guy in this building that I'm advocating for highly, which means Dorsey, as a Bills fan, for knowing the staff.
There's no one else it could be.
No, there's no one else there. I mean, Dorsey's the only one that knows that offense in and out. It's the only one that Josh is like. You see Josh with. If he's not with Brian Daboll, it's with Ken Dorsey on the sideline.
Yeah, you know what's crazy about Ken Dorsey being a good quarterback coach? It's amazing how the ones who are really great at the position can actually be good coaches, though. It's almost like they see it differently from a coaching's perspective than they did as a player. Because he was good coming out of Miami, but NFL-wise, he was a bum.
Oh, yeah, look at like Chris Sims. He's on Football Night in America. Look at Dan Orlovsky on NFL on NFL Network. Well, you know what I mean, NFL Live on ESPN.
NFL Live, yep.
Yeah, so that's how it is. You see it from both ends, And you see it more on game film. You can explain it more and be more detailed. And it's great. I love watching those guys and listening to them because I understand defenses a lot more from a quarterback's perspective. You know what I mean? So it is strange. It's funny how they're never good, but they can go and coach anyone up or explain to anyone what the situation is.
Very true. It's very true.
According to Twitter, 2 hours ago, Ryan Dunleavy says Giants have conducted 2 minority interviews with OCs, but I'm told Kevin Dorsey's interest is very real per source. Others have reported it first. I found it hard to believe that he wouldn't just automatically replace Dable with Bills until I heard it myself. So, I mean, and I'm hearing that that potentially more money, that we would be offering more money. But yeah, like you said, the continuity, I think, if it depends on how, that relationship with Josh Allen and him seems pretty legit. So I don't know.
Here's the thing. So here's my question to you guys. Be in Dorsey's shoes right now. Are you willing to follow Dable over to Coach Daniel Jones in that offense, or would you want to stay Coach Josh Allen?
That's a great point.
That's a great point.
Yeah. You know what? Buffalo. Sorry, Josh Allen. I think there's a unicorn running around in Brooklyn right now. I'm gonna go fucking chase it. Hell no! You stay and you ride Josh Allen until the goddamn wheels fall off.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I've seen stranger things happen. People make crazy decisions. A lot of people, New York has this glare. It is what it is.
I know people have made weird decisions.
Yeah, but when you put it like that, man, if you ask me who I would want to take right now, just in general, like which team is closer to winning?
Yeah,
Buffalo is. You know what I mean? So
they're already there.
You're going to get promoted because you're going up to an OC, which means at some point down the line, you do good enough job, you get a head coaching job. You're gonna look a lot better in Buffalo right now than you're gonna look in New York.
Oh, you're 100% correct. That's the whole thing. We all can agree to this. Every coordinator in the NFL, their main goal is to be a head coach.
Head coach, yep.
And the reason why they get these head coaching jobs is like Brian Dable. I made Josh Allen, accurate. I got to the AFC Championship. I'm 2020 coordinator of the year. Same thing with what's his face, the quarterback, the coach for San Francisco there, Shanahan. He ran a great offense with Atlanta. Boom, there he is. It's just that's how it goes. So for Dorsey, and Dorsey wants to be a head coach, and he doesn't want to. I don't think he wants to go to the Giants where he might get run through the ringer, and there goes his opportunity where it might not be 4 years down the road. It's gonna be 10 years down the road.
That's a great point. There's more risk to that, to the Giants.
A lot more risk.
Because if DJ isn't the guy, if say they do bolster the O-line, he still has some weapons and he just can't execute, then it just all look. I don't know, man. It just if these guys can get Daniel Jones playing well, then I mean I'm all in. But
Jimmy
I just
Tough
have
Nuts.
Yeah,
I love that.
Dan Orslowski said that.
You know what I wanted to ask? When you guys have the ball, right? I'm pretty sure you watch every Bills game. When you guys have the ball, and let's just say you guys have the ball, the game is tied, or you guys are down by 2, you are very confident that Josh Allen is going to lead your team down the field, and you guys are going to score, right?
Oh, hell yeah, I'm confident. Even though this past season we were 1-5, 1-6 in close games, to be honest with you. But the year before in 2020, we were 6-0 in one-score games. I mean, just record-wise, but I'm always confident when Josh has the ball.
But that's what we don't have around here. Like, we talk about a quarterback having it and how either you can play this game or you can't. We don't have that belief in Danny Jones. Like, it's almost like when we have the ball last, we're just like, damn, we're going to lose. And granted, we're not usually close enough to be able to drive down for the game-winning score. But it's just good to get a different perspective on how other fans feel about their team and how we just sit back like, it must be nice to have something like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've been missing it for so long as a Bills fan, and And it was a bumpy ride. You got to think, Josh Allen come out in 2018. Everyone knows what happened.
Before the game.
Yeah, everyone knows what Josh Allen was about coming out of college. And we had to deal with, sugar high Josh Allen for 2 years. Who knows if he was going to, be who he was. You know what I mean? So we were still nervous. I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know if I could trust Josh Allen without throwing a pick, because he just wants to throw it 85 yards.
Yeah.
And it was a prayer. So, and now the last 2 seasons, we see him flourish into this top 5 elite quarterback, and it's amazing. And so, and I hope you guys get something. And you guys are in a pickle. Look what's coming out of this draft. Nothing.
We in the pickle and we inside the vinegar.
That's that's the thing. Watching that game with Mahomes and Allen, and me and Quan after the game were just like, this is crazy that we can't see DJ doing this. Like, I can't fathom that. You know what I mean? But you're right. Coming out of the draft, there's nothing. No QBs.
We can't score 2 touchdowns a game, let alone 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, we're awful in the red zone. Where it's red so
zone,
bad.
Orange zone, blue zone, purple, gray, green.
Yeah.
So
everywhere.
So do you think? You guys still got your defensive coordinator? Has he been? You think they will keep him? You want
he
him
should
to
have
go
been the first person going. He should have been the first coordinator they fired.
Here's the issue we got. We got no pass rush, and we started the season out playing a lot of man coverage, and then Patrick Graham realized that that's not working because you can't play man if you don't got a pass ruch, right? So we started playing a lot of prevent defense, a lot of zone, and we played a 3-4, and it just wasn't good. And we were great on first and second down, and then third down.
We had to be the best team in the league. We had to be the best team in history on first and second down. Never seen a team so good on first and second down.
It doesn't matter if it's 3rd and 28. We would give up 3rd and 28 no matter what. If a dumb penalty or what. So now we finished the defense kept us in some games at the end, and I honestly, there's a couple of guys, a couple of pieces that like Xavier McKinney that we keep around. I like Julian Love. Adoree Jackson's all right. We got a smart cornerback in James Bradbury. He's not the fastest, but he's a smart. He passes off coverage as well. And we got a couple of cornerstones on defense, but this guy just he got interviewed for the head coaching job. And he said that he feels that if he doesn't get the head coaching job, which he obviously is not because we hired Dable, that he would stay as defensive coordinator. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm iffy.
Me neither.
Oh, look at this. Billy's got a giant hat. Look at that.
Oh, I got a hat of every NFL team.
JT, I don't know.
Show us.
Right here. Yeah, I got a hat. Goes all by divisions.
Am I the only one that can't see him?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can't see him. You'll see it on the YouTube after. But, Billy, let's tell that story about the time we played Madden.
Madden, what story?
And every time we scored, the other person had to take a shot, bro. And I ended up he usually smokes me at Madden. He's ridiculous. And I'm ridiculous at Madden, but Billy's ridiculous at Madden. And I was on a roll, and I kept scoring. And Billy got so shit-faced, bro. He puked out.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Bobby can hold his liquor. Bobby can hold his liquor,
bro. Because of all these giant games,
there, and I am running out my front door, throwing up outside in the driveway, and he's just taking the bottle and he's just finishing it off on me, and I'm like, Jesus, dude.
Yes, sir. All right, so now, do we have any questions in the chat? You got now's your time, guys. To
Patrick wants to know: do you think we can switch to a 4-3 defense and become better?
It depends on personnel for me.
Yeah, I think the problem right now, Patrick, is the personnel, man. I got to be honest. And the crazy part is, I don't believe defensively we're as far off as the offense is. The offense is far off. I believe 1 to 2 more players, and they don't even have to be all-stars. They don't have to be Pro Bowlers. They just need to be solid players. 1 to 2 more solid players, and that defense would be really good with the right defensive coordinator, though, because we can't keep running out there with a defensive coordinator who on third down calls his worst play of the game every third down.
Joe Corcoran says, how do you feel about Wink from Ravens for DC? I know nothing about him.
So that's all
Nothing at
you.
all.
Oh, Jesus.
Nothing.
I tell you what, with him, I mean, I think wasn't he let go or relieved of his duties? I thought someone from the Ravens was let go on the defensive side.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
I'm over
their
I'm over
defense
hiring
isn't
dudes
good.
that's getting fired. I'm over that.
Yeah, and whoever,
yeah.
yeah. And I saw some guy talk about, taking Leslie Frazier. Don't be taking all of my coordinators, my friend. Just leave me
Right.
something.
Leave you
Yeah,
something, right?
Leave me something. But you know what? You guys should check in for Jim Schwartz. Jim Schwartz is a good D coordinator.
Jim
Yeah.
Schwartz.
Jim Schwartz used to be the D for Buffalo before Rex Ryan took over. But Jim Schwartz was the defensive coordinator that won the
Oh my
Super
God!
Bowl
Didn't
for
he
the
used to,
Eagles.
Jim
He won the
Schwartz,
Super Bowl with
didn't
the
he play
Eagles.
for the he used to coach the Lions too at one point, right?
He was the head coach of the Lions, but he was
Okay.
better as a D
All right.
coordinator than he was as a head coach.
Now, Sebastian says, what position do you see Giants drafting with their first picks? And do you have someone in mind you want them to draft? Like I said, offensive line. And the only way I'm taking a pass rusher with one of those, the 5th or the 7th pick, is if Hutchinson or Thibodeau's there. But they're not going to be there. But it's the only way I'm taking them.
Me and Bobby said it last podcast. I'm not joking. I will say it until I'm blue in the face. I would draft 5 offensive linemen in this draft if I could. If you find 5 guys that you believe can open up a hole, I would draft all 5 of them. I swear to God, I would.
I agree with you. I honestly agree with you. You guys need to build up front. That's how you got to build the trenches, right? You got to have strong trenches, right? So
Yes, sir.
you can't. I mean, if Daniel Jones can be accurate, it doesn't matter who you have receivers right now. Just have someone protecting, give him the time to read his progressions. I mean, guys, and plus you got Barkley. I mean, I know he's injury prone, but he can catch the ball out of the backfield. He should be a good, hot read. He should be the last resort right there. I mean, that should be good for him. Just have that line. You got to have a line.
Should we let Graham go and be a head coach so we can get 2 third picks, comp picks? I don't know if that's is that the one thing I want to bring up is the Rooney Rule, right?
Yep.
So can you explain that, Billy? Because I didn't explain it right last podcast.
That shit trash.
I believe the Rooney Rule is that you got to have one black guy come in for the head coaching job. You got to have at least one black interview.
It's technically, hey, Bill, I think it's technically every position. I believe it's technically if you're a team looking for a head coach, a GM, an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, whatever you're hiring that particular year that you need to, have somebody in place, you have to hire one minority. Which is, listen, I understand the rule in this and what it was trying to accomplish, but at this point, it's just a fucking joke.
Yeah, it's the Rooney Rule. It says it's a National Football League policy that requires league teams to interview ethnic minority candidates for head coaching and senior football operations jobs.
Okay, so it's basically front office and head coach.
I got a question here from Peggy, and it's a great question because I don't know how we haven't asked it yet. Do you think Dable is a creative play caller?
Yes, he is. He is. You're gonna have some games that you're gonna scratch your head like, what the hell just happened, or why didn't you do that?
We had 17 of those.
Oh yeah, well, but he will bring that to you. There's been times this year as a Bills fan where you're like, for example, look at the win game, the Monday night game with the Patriots, where everyone says the famous 3 passes by Mac and Cheese, who I call Mac and Noodle Arm. But you're wondering, why didn't you run Josh Allen? Buffalo couldn't score in the red zone. Why didn't you just run him? You know what I mean? There's things that you think of like, why didn't you do that in a fan's point of view? You know what I mean? But there'll be games where he's just a genius, like the Bill Belichick of offense. You know what I mean? He will make do with what you have on your roster. If you got good speed, he'll run a lot of crossing routes. You know what I mean? So, I think he will be productive in the offensive point for you guys. You just got to have, have the right roster put together for him, and with Sheen and him going head to head into the offseason. You'll find those people. You get a
Does
good
he
roster constructed.
does he use a lot of motion?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, I
Hell yeah.
noticed that. I noticed that in the game on what was that, Saturday or Sunday? Sunday.
Yeah, you'll see McKenzie,
Yeah,
Beasley. They want the slot guys because he wants to see if they're running man or not. You know what I mean? Obviously, and plus they want to get the speed guy into the right, into the right side of the coverage that they're
Bro,
presenting.
bro,
Too.
I'm excited about this hire, Quan. I
yeah. I
am
told
really.
you I had no problem with it. I told you from jump. I wanted the guy to be the GM. I wanted him over everyone they had. I'm okay with I'm okay with hiring another coach who's never been a head coach, only because he came from being a coordinator. He moved up through the ranks. Joe Judge did none of that, bro. You understand?
Yeah.
The way it usually works is the defensive coordinator or the offensive coordinator gets moved up because they're usually more involved with the head coach than the other positions, position
Ooh,
coaches. So I feel good right now.
I
You
got a
should.
great
You should.
question here from Patrick. Who do you think will be calling the plays for us this year, the coach or the OC? That's hard to say because it depends on who we're gonna have as the OC. But
It
I,
depends on how much authority that Dable wants to give his coordinators.
yeah,
McDermott gave Dable the full reins of the offense, and he called the plays from up in the booth. And he gave Leslie Frazier the full, and McDermott's out defensive coach, and he gave Leslie Frazier, the go-to on the defense.
that's one thing I want is I want to see someone up in the booth. We've had these play callers down on the field for since I can remember.
Bro, I
When
think
have
the
we?
last time I saw a Giants coach was in the booth, and I don't even think it was the offensive coordinator. I believe it was you remember, we had the defensive coordinator named Johnny Lynn, I believe.
I don't
Um,
know.
back in, I want to say '06, '05 or something like that. He was up in the booth, but I haven't seen the Giants coordinator up there in quite some time, bro.
Yeah, I want to see that happen. All right, guys. Well,
Did someone just ask why we blame the defensive coordinator for a loss? What was that last question?
No, I
oh,
know
you
one guy
guys.
said that the Giants defense won't be good if the Giants obviously keep going 3-and-out. Listen, man, I don't know how many times we got to debunk this myth. Don't get me wrong, the Giants offense did do a lot of bum stuff. The Giants defense was bad because the Giants cannot get off the football field on third down. It
Yes,
is
sir.
everything is not on this Giants offense. This Giants defense for the last 3 or 4 years is historically bad on third down. Do none of y'all not remember the 3rd and 33 that
That's
turned
what it
into a
was. Third and
touchdown?
33.
Woo.
Terrible, terrible.
Yeah, that's so. Yeah, that's how someone said. I saw the comments about blaming upstate New York, blaming on the DC.
What was it? Upstate New York.
Someone said something about the upstate. Why the upstate New York teams are blaming the DC or something like that. I thought someone might be making a crazy, asking a crazy question about that last 13 seconds in that Bills KC game.
Now, let's talk about that. I know we talked about it. What did you think about that entire thing?
Well, first off, I am still grieving, to be
Yes.
honest with you. But first off, they should have. Buffalo's done it a million times during the year where they have Tyler Bass kick that ball straight up and it drops down inside the 10. Don't know why it wasn't done. That takes off 3-4 seconds. Pissed off. It wasn't like they had the cheetah back there. They had Pringle back there returning. So it wasn't like they had a speed demon back there. And then I don't know what they did. Here's the funny thing on defense. They're playing like a prevent, but they're playing more sidelines, which why are you doing that when KC has 2 timeouts? Just hit the middle and call a timeout. They're like afraid that KC was going to go for the touchdown instead of get positioning for a field goal. It was mind-boggling. And Buffalo called a timeout between each play. And they still didn't stop it.
Yeah.
That drove me crazy.
Yeah, we talked about that. That was weird. It was weird.
Could you again, I'm trying to get a perspective of what fans feel for their team. Like, I remember one year we played the Eagles and we were up 31-10, and that was the game where we punted the ball to Deshaun Jackson and he dropped it
Oh,
and
that was
picked
an
it up and ran it back.
amazing return. Holy
We,
cow.
as a Giants fan, we were up
Oh.
31-10 and they scored, and I honestly could see it. I saw it coming. I said, oh shit, they're about to come back. When you guys didn't kick that ball up in the air, did you think to yourself, they are going to go down the football field and score?
No. Honestly, no. And I can't, and I'm not going to say because we had the number one pass defense. I would say because it's almost impossible with 13 seconds to get 2 plays of that amount of yards to get in field goal range. You know what I mean? Because they could have held all the receivers one time and taken 5 seconds off the clock and taken the 5-yard penalty and then drop back. All you had to do was put man up on put a man on Kelsey, put a man on Tyree Hill, play zone with the rest, and had the safety shade over to those two, so it's almost double coverage.
And what,
Because you know
rush
they're going
two?
to those two.
What,
And
you
rush
rush
two.
two?
And rush two. And rush two. Because
Yeah.
if you rush more, you're making Mahomes get rid of the ball quicker. You rush less, he's holding and waiting because he's not going to pull a Dak Prescott and run up the middle and slide.
Yeah.
So it was just a bad events in those 13 seconds, which honestly, do you guys remember a game where you literally the team went down in 13 seconds and got the game time field goal? I can't think of one.
I just remember. I just know the Deshaun Jackson return made me feel for you big time, bro. That shit was fucked up.
Yeah, man, that Deshaun Jackson.
I
shit
can't
broke
believe
my
that either.
heart,
I
bro.
mean, that was a crazy return. But yeah, how do you not fucking tackle that guy?
How do you kick it to him?
That too. That too.
Well,
Just punt it in, kick it out.
He wasn't supposed to. You didn't see
No, I
Coughlin
know.
telling him
Matt
like,
Dodge,
I told you
right?
to kick it out of bounds.
Yeah. Coughlin was like, "What the fuck?" Yeah. All right, well, Billy. I mean, thank you so much for coming on, bro. We appreciate this big time, man. This was awesome.
Yeah, man, thank you. Thank you
this
for
has
an
been
hour
great.
anytime, bro. You welcome to come back anytime. Talk Bills football, Bills Giants football with us, bro.
Absolutely,
no problem,
man.
My knowledge runs somewhat deep, so
Yes, sir.
it's not just the Bills, but I can help out with any team you need. So,
all right, brother. Thank you so much.
Listen,
anytime, brother.
Thank you, bro.
I appreciate you guys for having me. It was definitely a privilege, and good luck. I mean, hope the able pulls off for you guys. I hope you guys, get guys in for the draft,
Bill,
free agency, whatever it is.
Bill,
Absolutely.
listen to me well, my brother. He can't do no worse.
Yeah, that's facts, bro.
You understand?
You know what?
Nothing.
You know what? He could pull the water boy off the bench and throw a helmet on him and give him the playbook, and I'm going to give him a standing ovation.
And we'll still look better than we did last year.
Facts,
Oh,
bro.
Jesus,
Listen,
man.
it came to a point this year, bro. We wanted to fire everybody. I was talking about firing the motherfucker that sold hot dogs. Fire them all.
Yeah, get him out.
But you know what? You should troll. You should troll Bill's Mafia page for Christ's sakes. You should sell some of after the Jacksonville game. We want to get rid of Bean, McDermott, Leslie, Dayball, everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, fans are nuts and crazy, but
it's an
you know
update
what we have. We know what we have as a football team. You guys understand where you're coming from. That's a lot of frustration built up, and I don't blame you one bit. If Buffalo was playing like that for the last 2 seasons. Yeah, get rid of Dermott, get rid of Allen, get rid of everybody, clean house.
No.
What?
We've been trashed we got to go back.
A decade.
We've been
yeah. But I'm talking about during the Joe Judge. I mean, during this whole,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But because this is was it the third or the second coach that you guys actually fired within, the first 2 years? The third coach in a row? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys don't do that. Now, here's my question. Is the ownership of the Giants, are they just giving the trust to Sheen? They're saying, here, do what you got to do. We're giving you the keys
We don't
to the
know.
kingdom.
They claim they are, but we don't know.
They say that, and in his presser, he says that he said that it's going to be a collaborative effort, which worries me. That means that Mayer still got his hand in it, in the cookie jar, and that worries me. So
that's
see.
not good because even with the Jets owner, he can't fucking keep his hand out of the cookie jar either. Look at that franchise.
I think it could just be everything has to be signed off on, which is kind of normal. But I just hope I don't want Marin making any. I want Shane doing this whole thing. See what he can do.
That's what the Pagula's done with Bean and McDermott. They just gave him the reins.
Now,
I mean, they can't even own the Sabres. They can't do crap with the Sabres. They're horrible owners of the Sabres. But I mean, they just gave everything to Bean and McDermott, and everything's been working out great.
Let me tell you something. The Giants have this thing where they're super loyal, right? This organization, it's a class act organization. They love it. They've been like that forever, but it's been to their detriment. We've had issues with this, and we've talked about it on the podcast. This organization and this Mara family has overvalued loyalty, and it's killed us. And hopefully the first time that we fired and had a new GM and a head coach since 1979, and this is the first time that this has happened since then.
That hasn't had any ties to the team prior to being hired. Yeah.
We always hire from within, and it's not working.
If we don't hire from within, we wait till a guy gets fired that used to be with us, and we go hire him.
Yeah, see, that's nuts. Though I mean, it's kind of hard to promote within when you suck, and then you got to know the people underneath you suck because they've been helping you suck.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to do that.
I don't think Kevin Abrams has been let go. I think he is going to help Joe with drafts and things of that nature.
Yeah, he's been there since when? 1999, right? I don't see them getting rid of.
What is his purpose? All joking aside, if I hire you to be my new general manager and you don't want this guy on board because you feel like he's not a good scout, because obviously he isn't, because we have a lot of bums. Let's be honest about the situation.
Yeah, clearly.
And he helped this cap casualty that we are now in. Why is he still around?
No clue. Makes no sense. It's the loyalty thing. And like Joe Corcoran says right here, loyal to the wrong people, right? We've sent some guys packing that don't deserve to get sent off, and it's
killed us.
It's been bad. But Billy, we appreciate you, man, and like Quan said, anytime come back on, we'll do this again. And if anything else comes up, we seem to be taking all your guys. So sorry about that.
Yeah, wait, don't worry. You know what? I'm happy. To be honest with you, I'm happy. I'm happy for Dayball. He deserves it. I mean, that's what he's been working his whole life to, is being a head coach, and he's going to a big organization. So I hope he shines. I hope he doesn't take Dorsey with him. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, and I wish you guys luck. I wish you guys a good offseason first and foremost. You need that. And I think you'd be happy with Sheen. I think he's learned a lot from Bean, and he sees how an organization should be run and how you should build within. You know what I mean? So you should have hopefully in the next 3-4 years, you guys competing for the division. One step at a time. Get that division win.
Yeah.
Get to the playoffs. So the
Let's
division
hope.
title. Yeah.
But
all right, guys.
Boys.
All right,
thank you so much. Take care.
No problem.
Later.